Welcome everyone to the Road to Millions. I'm Andy from WagerTalk.com. Flying solo today, so we're not going to have a super long show because as much as I like talking to myself, not sure anyone else wants to listen to me ramble on for 45 minutes. So we're going to go over sneaky play of the day, our stat of the day. We've got some NHL and NBA props, mostly NHL props to talk about, and then we got some Bankroll Reset Day. And then when we do Bankroll Reset Day, I'm going to talk about mindset. I did not have I actually had a bad mental week this week. I was not in a good mindset for a few days. So I'll talk about that because it affects all of us, and I don't think it's a bad thing to talk about it. And hopefully, some of you can relate to it or just can learn a little bit of something out of it. So I'll talk about what's been going on with me over the last few days and how I feel so much better today and so much better going into the weekend. So let's just start off with, well, what do we have up right now? NHL best bet is up 20-8 run, 65% this season. Hit another one last week. We dropped a few. You could kind of see that coming just because we'd hit so many in a row that it was time to drop a couple. But we hit our one last night, pretty much a no sweat. Blackhawks got shut out, so our guy did not have a point. Didn't came through. We got a great one that is up tonight, and it's a new market that I have been monitoring. And I put this in the write up. It's a new market that I've been monitoring for NHL plays, and it's been going well. Some of these guys that I have been monitoring have been hitting at pretty big hit rates. So we're going to jump on board with this. We're going to still keep doing the players to not have a point, but I'm going to sprinkle in some of these other plays, and I'm pretty excited about that. This is by far my best NHL season I have ever had. I have not hit 65% for a season, so I know we got a long ways to go, but I'm excited about it. So let's go to our sneaky play of the day, and I'm going to talk Max Strus here. Under 2.5 made 3-pointers. So this is one that's a little bit juicy, but he has been ice cold, and I mean ice cold on this prop. And yet the books are still giving us 2.5 on the number. So I'm pretty excited to take the under on this one. This is a sneaky good parlay piece because it's like minus 165, and he's just been so bad and like not even getting remotely close to this that I think it's a really good one. So let's take a look at some of his numbers here. He's gone under in 11 out of the last 12 games. He's 5 of 23 in his last 6 games shooting threes. The game that he went over was against Washington. Everyone goes over against Washington. He was 6 of 8 from threes, and they scored 140 points. But we look at some of his recent games. Milwaukee, he goes 2 for 6. Orlando, 2 for 4. Atlanta, 1 for 4. Milwaukee, 0 for 1. Chicago, 0 for 6. Brooklyn, 0 for 2. So I do see him starting to make a couple of more. But I think one of the things that I really like is that his attempts are way down this month. This is a guy that in October in a few games attempted 10 of them. In November, he attempted 6.9. In December, he attempted 9.7 3-pointers per game. And now here we are in January, and he is only attempting 4.8 3-pointers per game. And that was with a game against San Antonio where he attempted 9 and a game against Washington where he attempted 8. So he's only making 1.6 3-pointers on 4.8 attempts this month. So if he's only attempting 4 or 5 3-pointers, he's going to have a lights-out shooting game to get to this 3. So I'm going to take his under 3s. And if it hits again, maybe we keep riding this one out. I just don't think he's going to keep up this particular shooting rate forever, which is why I'm not really concerned with his shooting percentage. I'm much more concerned with how many attempts that he's getting, because not getting attempts, you're not getting a lot of made ones. So this is a kind of a back-to-back situation. It's not back-to-back in the nights, but it's a back-to-back on the team that they're playing. So they're playing at Milwaukee, and this was a game that Cleveland lost 126 to 116, and Max Strus only 2 of 6. He took 6 attempts. He did not get there. So my sneaky play of the day is Max Strus under 2.5 made 3s. If he has another bad game, then we may look to keep fading him for the foreseeable future. Stat of the day, we're going to the NHL. Sam Reinhart has a goal in 10 out of his last 11 games. The Penguins have given up 8 goals the last 2 games, 5 goals in one game, 3 in the other, and he is plus 150 to score tonight. Sam Reinhart is absolutely on fire. This guy is absolutely lighting it up here. I can pull up his prop stock cash look here. So go to Florida and we look at goals. And yeah, look at this. I mean, he is just it's crazy how many goals he's scoring. And yeah, he had a good hot start and then kind of cooled off, but right now he's on fire. And this stat here for Pittsburgh's a little deceiving. 7th in goals allowed. I always get a little worried about this time of year. You see this in NBA, you see it in MLB, you see it in NHL, where you go, well, Pittsburgh, they're 7th in goals allowed. It's like, yeah, but last 2 games they've not been very good. So I like to really shorten the amount of time that I'm looking at team stats, and the whole season stats don't tell injuries, they don't tell momentum. So I'm looking at this shots on goal. This is pretty good. That they're 22nd. They're allowing almost 31 shots on goal. So you got to believe Reinhardt's going to be around the net. He's going to get plenty of chances to score. We look at just his shots on goal, and you can see he's going over a ton. I mean, he even got a goal last game, and he only had 1 shot on goal. But he's flying over his 2.5 shots on goal. But at that plus 150, I think you can do pretty good on Reinhardt. Wish we'd have known this when he first started his hot streak. Could have been cashed on these plus 150s night in and night out. So there's another parlay piece. This line is moving in the same game. Gustav Forsling. It's his over 1.5 shots on goal. If you look at what's happened with Forsling, he didn't have any last game. Whenever he goes under this 1.5, he comes back strong. Last one, he came back with 6 shots on goal after he had 0. He had 1 shot on goal here. He came back strong with 3. He had 0 here. Came back strong with 3. Only had 1. Came back strong with 3. Only had 1 here. Came back strong with 3. So whenever he doesn't have one recently, he's been coming back really strong. And again, Pittsburgh gives up almost 31 shots on goal. So Forsling could be a really good one to look at. And if you're a same game parlay better, this is a really, really good one. So on a puck time today, I talked about taking a same game parlay of Gensel under 1.5 points with Forsling over 1.5 shots. Look at Gensel. I mean, this guy's gone over 8 out of 30 games. So it's minus 238, so you're not going to play this on your own. But you take a look at Gensel for Pittsburgh. He's just not getting 2 points. It's a perfect parlay piece. It's a Florida team. They're just an under team. They've not been giving up too many goals recently. So I like Gensel under 1.5 points, and you parlay that with Forsling over 1.5 shots on goal, and I believe you're plus money, plus 112 on that one. So that would be a pretty sneaky look for NHL today. So I went over quite a few bets on puck time. There's only 4 games, so if you want to check that out, myself and Carm and Andrew broke down everything. So I don't have a whole lot in the NBA. NBA, man, I did not play my NBA leans. We did an NBA tip-off yesterday, and I think I hit every single thing that I talked about. We talked about Jokic under. He went under. We talked about Embiid going under his point total coming off the 70-point game. He went under. We talked about the Pacers covering the spread against the Philadelphia. They just blew him out of the water. We talked about Alex Caruso over 1.5 three-pointers. I think he over 1.5. I think he got there in the first 3 minutes of the game. So, unfortunately, I did not play any of them. And I don't really like the slate of games tonight. I will say that Indiana coming off of that big win against Philly, that was such a letdown spot for the Philadelphia 76ers last night. They have that insane win against San Antonio. Embiid goes for 70 points, and they play Denver tomorrow. So what happened with Philadelphia and Denver last night? They both got blown out of the water. Pretty sure they were both looking ahead to this big matchup. So that was a good one. But Indiana gets the big win, and now they get to face Phoenix. And don't let last night's performance fool you. Indiana's not very good defensively. They've been better, but they have not been great. And so I think if you're looking at potentially some props here, you could look at Durant. We do not have anybody to cover Durant. Durant had 40 against the Pacers last time, and he's at 28.5. So I would not be too worried about playing Durant over tonight. And then Grayson Allen is the other interesting one. Insane, crazy year for Grayson, and he's been good on his 3 pointers. They have him at 2.5 3 pointers. He's gone over in 6 straight games. The 2 games were against the LA teams, but he's just been going over. He got 3 against the Pacers. So I did not see the Grayson Allen resurgence year coming this year. So, but it's a huge slate of games tomorrow in the NHL and NBA. So I will tell you that I am super stoked for the NHL slate tomorrow. I may have 3 plays tomorrow. I'll definitely have 2. I may have 3 plays. So I'm hoping we can cash the NHL one tonight, and then we can get ready for tomorrow's loaded slate. So, all right. So let's do bankroll reset day. It wasn't a great week for us. I'll go over the numbers and I'll go over the mindset thing. So NFL 2-1 plus 1.25 units fine. NHL 3-3 minus 1.2 units. Not too concerned about that because we've been doing so well. We were due for kind of a down week, but we hit the one last night. So 3-3, not terrible. Soccer, we only had one. Golf was 2-0 plus 3.6 units. I gave all that back in this week's tournament. So unfortunately, we're starting in a hole for next week's units because the golf could not have gone worse. UFC 0-1, which I was just so livid. I'm so mad. I basically picked every fight on the prelims correctly except that one, and that one, of course, was the one that tripped us up. Cross sport parlay, we had a nice one, 1-0 plus 2 units. Corbin went 2-1 with darts. Big one was tennis. Tennis was just no other way to sugarcoat it. It was just bad. We did not have a good Australian Open. First losing Australian Open we've ever had. So that was the big one. So we're down minus 6.7 units. So if we pull out our bankroll spreadsheet, it's kind of been weird what's happening here. So we've had 2 like monster weeks in the last month, but then we've just kind of given away a few units here or there. And there are several ways to look at it. So just doing the math real quick, if you take the minus 6.7 units, multiply it times 16.56, and we come up with 1,546. So we started with $1,000. We're up 546. So 1 unit for next week will be 1,546. We've been hovering around the same amount, and it's a little frustrating. I mean, obviously, could be a lot worse. You could be down quite a bit, but we just haven't been able to break through into that 1,700 yet. Trying to get closer to that. Trying to get closer to the 1,700 and then get to the 2,000. So, just trying to go over what happened. So, I did not. I don't know. I haven't been in a good mindset for the last few days. Corbin and I didn't see eye to eye on something, and normally we do see eye to eye on a lot of things. There are some things that we don't agree on, and I think that's healthy. I think you should have some people that are not in complete lockstep agreement with you all the time. I think it offers perspective. I think it opens your mind, and I think we always need to be evolving, especially in the world of sports betting. We look at some of the bets. Like I've never played NHL players to not have a point. Found the market this year, and we'll keep jumping on it. So we're always trying to evolve and try and find new and better things. And the markets are so different year to year with the way that the books do their lines. I saw DraftKings now has progressive parlays that you can do. Who would ever think that would be a part of DraftKings? So I think it's good that you talk to people and associate with people that have some different opinions so you can bounce ideas off each other. But Corbin and I did not see eye to eye on something, and it did bother me. I know it bothered him. And it just, I don't know. There was something that affected me that I don't think I handled it quite well. And then there was another thing that happened to me. My kryptonite is if I do not get sleep. If I don't get enough sleep, and this has been since I was a kid, if I don't get enough sleep, I am miserable. I'm negative. It's all negative energy coming out of me. And if you guys watched our beginning of the year show, one of the things that I've been wanting to do is really aggressively try and lower my blood sugar. My blood sugar is too high, so I have been working out like a madman. My diet has completely changed. And this week, I think I just kind of hit a little bit of wall where my body just got fatigued. I've been tired the last couple days, and I'm just not in a good place when I'm really tired. And then we put in the golf plays, and if you played the golf plays, well, I mean, we put in two of them, they already lost. I don't think I've ever had a worse read on a golf tournament than the one this week. And of course, it happened this week when I'm not, I'm not in a good mindset. I'm tired. And then we have this golf tournament where literally everything that I said was going to happen didn't happen. Everything that I said wasn't going to happen has happened. You literally could not have done a worse job predicting a golf tournament than I did this week. So our amazing start to the year, 5-1. We're now 5-3 because I lost the two plays, and the plays weren't even close. Like, make no mistake. Like, it wasn't even like, well, we almost win. No, terrible. So that just really bothers me when I lose golf plays. Golf is one of the sports that brought me to Wager Talk. It's my favorite and my most passionate to handicap. You guys have known that for a while. And so when I don't do well in golf, it really irks me. And for some reason this week, everything just came to a head. And yesterday was just terrible. I was in a really, really bad mood. So why am I telling you guys this story? Because everybody goes through this in our personal lives, in our professional lives, in our gambling lives. Like, we all go through it. So yesterday it was rock bottom for the week. I just had it. The golf tournament was wrapping up. I knew the players were going to lose. And so I just kind of went outside and just started walking. I got some fresh air. I called a couple people that I hadn't talked to in a few days, talked to them, and finally, it was a really, really good feeling to hit that NHL play last night because I knew I needed some kind of win. I had lost a couple NHL plays, wasn't feeling great. So I did the NBA show, and I see, my leans on these NBA plays are hitting. My predictions were right. And then I watched the first period of the NHL game, the Blackhawks and Oilers, and I just knew that our play was going to win. And I got a great night of sleep. With the help of a gummy, I was asleep early, and I did not set an alarm. I just got up when I could, and I desperately, desperately needed it. So I feel so much better. And I think the message is just when it's not going well or when you're in a really bad funk, it's really easy to make things worse. So even though we had a down week, overall our sports were not that bad over the last 7 days. NFL 2-1, yeah, I'll take that all day. NHL 3-3, who cares? We're 20-8. So long term, NHL has been great. Soccer, we only had one play, we lost it, but as soon as soccer season gets back, it's one play. Golf, hey, last weekend we had a perfect read. This week, for next week's bankroll reset, we got some room to make up. UFC put me in a bad mood, but we don't have UFC this week, so it's kind of out of my head. Our cross-sport parlay was fine. Darts was fine. These are the weeks where this, let me pull up the screen here. Pull up the units here. This is the week, and by the way, I got to fix those dates here. These are the weeks that this minus 6.7, that could be minus 20.7. If you're not having a great week, don't force it. Even though we hit the NHL play last night, I put it in it only to win one unit because I did not want to make things worse. And that's the big lesson is when you're not having a great week, don't make it worse. What's one of the things that we always talk about? One of the best ways to make money is to not lose it. Limiting the losses is one of the biggest keys to the road to millions because we're all going to go through winning streaks and we're all going to go through losses. And I keep pounding this through everyone's head. If you win 60% of your bets, you're going to be rich beyond your wildest imagination. But that means you're only winning 7 months out of the year. So you have to accept that losses are going to be there. And this is a really difficult week for me to accept it because I went on a little bit of a losing streak, losing a few NHL plays. I got slaughtered in my 2 golf plays, but don't make it worse. So we didn't make it worse, even though we're down. My confidence level is rising, and on purpose, I have not put in any NFL plays. I will have NFL plays probably tomorrow, or maybe by Sunday, but I wanted to absolutely make sure I didn't put in any NFL plays when I wasn't in a great mindset, when I wasn't seeing the board right. We haven't had any NBA plays in for a while, which I've been very happy about. And we only had, what, 5 or 6 plays since Monday or Tuesday. So we've kept the volume pretty low, and I'm pretty happy with that because this 6.7 that could easily be -20. So it's not a great week. We obviously want to be profitable the whole time, but confidence is rising. And if you guys, somebody in our office, Chris Allen, he sent me just the most random message that meant the world to me. He probably didn't even think much of it, but he was asking me. I was late on getting some videos, and I was like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm having a really rough week. I'm behind." And he was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. I was just checking." And I was like, I could be an adult and probably get my act together and send him to you. And his response was, he was like, "Don't worry about it. Adults are humans too," with a little heart emoji. And I don't know, for whatever reason, yesterday I was like, that was really nice. I needed that. Yeah, it's okay to have a bad week. So, this is my bad week. We're gonna not have a bad week. I already feel we're gonna be off and running. So, we started off with a win last night, so I'm really really happy about that. We're behind the 8 ball with golf plays, but that's okay. Corbin's got some dart plays up. We're gonna keep going after NHL. I feel great about this new territory that we're coming into with NHL. So we're going to have a good week. We're going to get back on track. We're going to get back into the positives. So we've dropped some units the last few weeks, but it has not been that bad. And if our worst weeks are -6 or -1 unit last week, long term we're going to be in good shape, and that's what we're trying to do. So appreciate everybody. If you could leave me a comment. I mean, listen, I didn't go over positive vibes because we didn't do a show yesterday, but if you guys could just give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment, give us some positive vibes. The world could use a lot more of those. So I'm pulling for all of you. Good luck on all your bets. And we are going to do our Road to Millions on Sunday. We'll get you ready for the 2 NFL games. So let's have a great weekend. We'll see everyone Sunday on the Road to Millions.